Yes, I know, and that does work. Facing yourself in the right direction really works.
I'll say, I just have to change the room. I'm really sensitive to that kind of stuff. I had Mary Jane Cardell was in my dreams.
Really?
Yeah. And Celeste and Nancy.
Huh.
Yep. But it was very vivid. It was good. We were all surviving, but there was sort of like that thing in Texas. There was like a bomb or something going off, so maybe I was thinking about that.
Oh, that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Albuquerque was burning. But we all made it back to Santa Fe. It wasn't stressful, dream. It was just disturbing. But yeah, I feel pretty good. I did what I sort of figured out a way to eat that works for me, and I like being here. And last night it was fun to hang out with someone that was so confident that at least knows what he's doing.
Who's that?
His name is Stevie. I'll introduce you. Stevie Schmaltz. He might be your Facebook friend already.
And what does he do?
He's an IT guy. He has his own business, but he's very successful with it.
It's nice to be with a competent person, isn't it?
I'll say. Someone who knows what he's doing. I mean, he actually was one of the stars of the movie. Maybe that's why he was so motivated. But
oh, really?
I mean, he played opposite of Georgina. And he plays like a girl and a guy in the movie at different points. It's really funny. I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen the whole thing. He just showed part of it just to test out the equipment, and I was impressed already. She was already better than what I thought she was going to be. I underestimated her.
Yeah.
And anyway, I hope I didn't make a mistake about who's that?
That's Costagia. Yeah, he just came online, so I thought I'd just call him, especially since everybody's late to this meeting. So I don't see Bootsy.
She said she was going to be in it, but maybe something was going on.
I don't see, and Ron said he's going to be late, and Greg said he's going to be late.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
We're trying to start our meeting, but it's everybody's late except Barb and Franny and me, and Nell.
Oh, right. Okay.
So now you're welcome to be in the meeting from here, or I'll just call you back at 1 if you want.
What time is it now with you?
It's 12. So I'd call you back in like 55 minutes, or if you want to listen, you can be here now if you want. It's up to you, But what I invited you for was about an hour from now. I hear your voice. I hear you're thinking. You're thinking about this question.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, you just caught me a little bit off guard. So you're saying that I'm welcome to be in on the meeting?
Yeah, you're welcome to be in on the meeting, and you can be here now if you want, or I'll call you back in an hour.
I'll be here now.
Okay, fine. Well, we'll probably won't talk to you for about an hour, but as the meeting is as I say, everybody's late. So I don't know. I mean, not everybody, but most people, and even Nell, who's trying to get on her own computer instead of on her cell phone, is now not. I can't reach her anymore. So, but Barb was just telling me about her friend. Why was it so? Oh, Gustasia, by the way, turn your camera on.
Oh, I thought it was on.
Okay.
Where are you, Gustasia?
I'm here.
And where are you in the world?
I'm in England.
England, okay.
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Hi.
I see you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky you caught me, actually. I'm doing building work here, and someone's doing electrics work, and all the power was off, so the Wi-Fi wasn't working, so I was really off. I wasn't sure after the message I got the other day, I wasn't sure if I was going to be in on this call at all.
Yeah, that happened to me yesterday. Someone's trying to call me. Yeah, that happened to me yesterday. The internet went out, but I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm in New Mexico. What are you curing?
Happy.
Oh, that's the old classic. I like your wall color.
Thank you, yes. It's my little ash room.
So you're in London?
No, it's west of London. It's about an hour outside of London.
Okay, nice. What do you do there in England?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I'm a carpenter and I'm fixing a kitchen for my mother at the moment.
Oh, sweet. That's cool. Yeah, my best friend is from London, and our other friend just got back from London. And then my other friends lived in Devon, who live in Devon still, I guess.
Okay.
But, yeah. You been to America yet?
Yeah, I just got back from there.
Hey, Ron.
Hi.
Hi, Ron. Both
It was Philadelphia.
Ron and Gustagi both need to lower their cameras.
Lower your cameras a little
Yeah.
bit, you guys.
See Gustagi, do what he just did.
Hey,
Yeah, even a little more so your head's like on the top of the frame.
let me see that beautiful head of non-hair you have. I've just trimmed it.
That's my next step. Save the head.
Have you guys read the tweets that everybody has sent yet? Because, Barb, have you read everybody's tweets? Because you should read those right before the meeting. Greg, have you read everybody's tweets this morning, Ron? You should do that right before the meeting.
All right, no, I haven't.
Well, get it up on the screen right now and read them.
Okay, cool.
So you know where everybody is. You'll know where Barb is, and you'll know where Greg is. So Greg is nowhere, he didn't tweet. Ron is nowhere, he didn't tweet, but you'll know where the other people are. So that's how we sort of keep up with each other. You know, what we're doing is we read each other's tweets, and we've been following each other every day, and it works. You know, we keep ourselves pretty clear. You know, it's actually kind of interesting, Gustagi, to have you in this meeting. I didn't really think of this at the time, but, you know, I can sort of explain to you how we've been doing this, and everybody can get, you know, something out of that, I think. You know, because, see, this is the kind of thing you have to do all the time. It never ends. And so, as we tweet throughout the day, we read each other's tweets, we cure things. You know, just staying connected like that is curative.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, you know, like you were talking about how you want to get beyond perceptual reality. Yes, you mentioned that. You mentioned that term. And Ron, would you say that you have gotten beyond perceptual reality?
I don't know.
Barb, what about you?
Yeah, definitely. Lately, I've definitely had that experience for the last couple of months. I have, yes.
Greg?
Yes.
I mean, I tested, I do.
Oh, you test, you do. Okay. Okay.
I think it's something that I test periodically. Am I beyond perceptual reality right now when I'm looking at something? So it's like checking my abilities.
Okay.
I'm off fire.
Franny, I know exactly what you said. Come over here. I need to show you something. I don't think I can hook you up anymore.
Are you frozen, Greg?
From that.
I don't know if I'm frozen. Am I?
Okay. No, I thought you were.
I don't think I can hook you up anymore.
It's all good. It's all good.
Look at this. See if I click on Bard Barnes where the number is? There's nothing there. Because somehow when Greg came on, see, he's on the Bayard account.
Hi, Gus.
I can't call the house
Hello,
phone.
how are you?
Hi. I didn't know you could be here at this time.
What?
Is that live?
No, see this? Look. See that?
Well, I had to run
Look,
out
you see
in
this?
Chicago, where, by
See
the
it?
way, it was snowing today.
I don't know what to do.
Yesterday.
You want me to
I
call
just
your
got
cell
back from
phone?
there. I was up in Chicago.
You want to just listen this
2
way?
weeks ago.
Oh.
I was up in Wisconsin Dells, actually.
Yeah, that's Barb's territory.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I can call you.
Miracles,
Oh, wait a minute, I can call you. Answer the phone.
Like, they got an academy up there still.
Surprising stuff that happens in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's very progressive.
Yeah,
Always has been.
surprised me. Escape to Wisconsin. Yep. They had fun yesterday and we had snow yesterday.
Nell, you have to go on mute.
I think
Nell.
that's Nell's, Nell, you should upgrade your
Nell, go on mute. Nell, go on mute. Go on mute right now.
You have to go on mute right now.
Go on mute. Mute yourself, Nell. Mute. Move your mouse and click on the microphone. Thank you. No, she's off. She's not on mute yet. Nell, go on mute. Nell, go on mute now.
She says okay. Down at the bottom.
Nell, move your mic. Move your mouse. Move your mouse, Nell. I guess she can't figure it out. Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about. What were you saying? What was the last thing you were saying?
You were saying to look at each other's tweets.
Nell, can you hear me? You must be on mute to be on this call. Do you know how to mute your phone? Do you know? You must mute this. I can't have you on the call if you don't mute it. Oh.
Okay, now we're back.
Oh no, who's that now?
Check.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the point of interest that we were looking at each other's tweets to see what's going on.
Yeah. I'd asked if you feel as though you got beyond physical reality, perceptual reality.
Looking at turning on Twitter when we got so rudely interrupted.
Greg, go on mute.
Richard Byard's back.
Oh no.
I think someone called.
I'm on mute.
Whatever. To put us all on hold.
We were talking about had Gustagi gotten. No, we were talking about had you gotten beyond perceptual reality. Greg, go on mute. Thanks. And people were saying they did. So, Gustagi, what do you get from what you were told so far?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
What did you get from what we told you about perceptual reality?
What do I get? What, from you guys now, or generally from the community?
From us now.
What do you mean? What? I don't quite understand. I mean, it seems like you guys are definitely doing that, and it really appeals to me, the way you're doing it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited and quite interested to get involved in the way you're doing it, and yeah, I quite like it.
Let me just all right, I'll explain to you how an immersion weekend would work, okay?
Okay.
Because of the time difference, your first meeting, now you're 5 hours from me, so your first meeting would be at 2 p.m.
Uh-huh.
Okay? That would be on Friday, and your second meeting would be at 5 p.m. Now you'd be given assignments to do between these meetings. So the idea would be that you would have to immerse yourself, and then your last meeting would be at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And so we'd be checking the assignments and giving you new ones and teaching you things, and then you'd have all this work to do overnight. and through the next morning, which would take you to the next 2 p.m. meeting, and that would go on for 3 days or 2 days. And as far as paying for it, I have a couple of options I could give you. One is you can do a 2-day, and you could pay. Here's the option. You could pay $600 up front, and you could do either a 2-day, which would be $600, or a 3-day, and you could pay the rest off if you want.
Okay.
So you could have a payment agreement for $300. So you know that. So there it is. You know. So that's. It is possible to do it even with the time difference. That's not a problem. It'll be. We can have a fine immersion weekend, even with the time difference, and you can also. You know, you'll just have to choose a weekend when you have the money to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a possibility I might be able to do it next weekend.
Okay.
I just got to see how the finances are this week. I've got to buy tools and stuff for work, so it's a little bit tight. And whatever. Anyway,
all right.
Get into details, but yeah, I'd like to be able to do it next week, and it's possibly a good time for me to get the privacy I need. But it would only be a 2-day because I'd only have the Saturday and Sunday.
Right. Well, one thing that I realized, by the way, I just want to say this to everybody, which doesn't apply to you since you would only do the 2-day thing, is that when people do 3-day immersion weekends, I realized that the way to do the immersion weekend is to have one of their meetings be with the whole Cure team on Friday. Like presumably their second meeting of the day would be with the Cure team. And, so would yours if you were doing, because if you were in Europe, you would just, it would be this meeting at, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I think having that kind of exposure would be good for somebody who is doing this. Now, I'm really sorry that Bootsy isn't here because she needs to hear this, but she's not, and it can't be helped. Anyway, so that's, that'd be great. We'll be happy to do it with you. And as soon as you can get the money...
I just got a message from her saying she's just going to be late and she'll be here in a minute.
Right.
Wow.
What you should do when you are able to pay, you should call Greg.
Okay.
And if it's, obviously, if somebody's busy or somebody else has booked the weekend, then you'd have to do it the weekend after or the weekend after that or whatever, But,
Okay.
the sooner you can pay, the sooner you have your weekend booked. And you just call Greg. Do you have his number, right? You have his phone number.
I do, yes.
Yes, so you just give him a call on his cell phone. That's the way to reach him. Don't send him anything on Facebook or Skype and these messages and stuff, because we don't read them for 2 days. Like you saw the one that you sent me. I didn't see it till a little while ago,
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
all right, that's the way to do it then. Okay, well, I mean, I'll try for next weekend, but yeah, and I just give you as much notice as I can then, yeah, and...
yeah, then we'll tell you if it's fine, you can do it that weekend,
Cool.
Like right now, nobody...
Yeah, I'm really keen to do that, because, like I say, I'm an experiential person. My signals are, they come and they go, and they're not that strong, and I think by being in it, the whatever you want to call it, the morphic field that you're creating.
Yeah.
Then that will strengthen that in me, and I mean I'm definitely receiving guidance. I have been for a while, and it's just this is a format that's very kind of tangible, yeah, I just need to practice it.
I can tell that you have spiritual guidance.
Yeah, I was guided to you guys. I mean, it's very clear. I said a prayer. I said, "What's next?"
Wow.
Well, you know,
I've left the academy, and it's like I'm doing a lot of breathing, and I get a lot of insight, things like that.
You know,
and then it was just like I made a clear question, what's next? And then the very next day, or maybe even the same day, I just went on the internet, I was looking for a yoga class, and I just went, I don't know, yoga for herpes. And then, bang,
yoga for herpes. Really?
And I found you on YouTube by putting that. So I was like, okay.
Okay.
It became very clear that what you're doing is very in line with what I'm doing. It's just I just had to look at all the language that I use for the things and then apply it in a way, and then I realized that it's the same thing. So.
By the way, you should do as much as you can to cure your herpes every day now, and not wait for...
I clear it out, because my signals are a little weak, I get a bit like, you know, the mind kicks in and it starts going, oh, this ain't working. And then one day it's really working. But I clear it out every morning, I clear it out. I've noticed, actually, since I started clearing it out, that I'm very tired in the morning. I'm working hard, but I'm just wondering if like there's something going, if that rings any bells with anyone that I feel quite heavy in the morning. Maybe that's because I feel so good when I go to bed, and then it's coming back in the night, and and I'm feeling heavy again. You
have to check yourself in the morning for herpes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm filming you talking about your herpes.
That's great.
So, but you're not really afraid to talk about your herpes on YouTube and stuff like that, right? I mean, you're okay with, you know, that doesn't worry.
Well, it's likely most people are going to see it. So I'm not too bothered at the moment. I've been really taking a look at that in my mind about my fear of people knowing.
Well, that's a symptom. It's another.
I'm really taking a look at it, and I'm overcoming it. I've made a decision to start by telling a couple of people, possibly next week when I see my best friend, and beginning with that. And you know, I feel that this is going to be like me letting it go now.
Yeah, you have to cure that to cure your herpes. It is a symptom. It's holding.
I know that the only way to cure it is to just, you know, look at it and face it.
Yeah, it's holding the herpes in place.
Yeah,
it's regenerating it. Like you're taking the herpes out, and then you're regenerating the herpes again.
Yeah. No, and I recognise I have got to give this away to keep it. You know, so
right.
To stay well, I've got to give away the cure, you know. So to do that, I'm going to have to come out with it at some stage anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be making any announcements on Facebook just yet, but maybe when I get a blood test or whatever.
You know, I have to tell you that when you talk about yourself, when you talk about yourself to your Facebook friends, you actually do open yourself up to healing from them. People usually think of it as opening themselves to their friends attacking them, because for most people are being attacked by their friends. Their friends are attacking them. When you learn how to deal with that attack, and you become immune to people attacking you, and then you start to see all the ways that they were healing you that you couldn't, see because you were so taken down by the attack. The attack is so painful that's what we always focus on painful things, and we don't focus on what we're being given. So if you cure things, your gratitude comes in, and you begin to feel to feel grateful to people for curing you and caring about you.
The gratitude is coming naturally now. I mean, it's been about 3 years since I was diagnosed, and that was, I was completely, 3 years ago, I was completely unconscious, like seriously unconscious. I was using drugs very heavily for 20 years, and alcoholic, you know, like all of it. And so, you know, the herpes is actually a huge gift to me, what it's given me and the awakening that it's occurred in me. So, yeah, I mean, I've come from way anyway. I can't remember where I was going with that, but...
To help a lot of other people. They're doing it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. It's good.
Yeah, no, it's been, well, I had to. I couldn't drink it. I couldn't do anything anymore. I was so sick. So I hit rock bottom. I mean, I'm talking 300 days over years. I was having an outbreak, you know. And
Wow.
yeah, like, it was just one after another, after another, after another, after another, and it's just like, wow. I haven't since, I've been doing this now for what? I've been clearing it out in my kind of whatever way, my basic way. I've been clearing it out for just over a week, and I definitely averted an outbreak.
Wow.
Straight away.
Cool.
And I believe that I've done that a few times. Like, I was kind of doing this, but I had no real frame of reference for it. But I was already intuitively doing something like this.
Uh-huh.
And I think I've averted 2 outbreaks. I've had one in between those 2, but I've averted 2 outbreaks based on me just denying it and just clearing it out. You know? And just becoming present with myself and just seeing where I'm becoming anxious and becoming
You'll cure it.
intense, you know,
You will cure it.
I can get a little intense sometimes. So.
You're like right now. I would say you're pretty.
You're
You're pretty intense right now. I would say. Which is actually not a bad thing, you know. Intensity is better, way better than the opposite.
Yeah.
Way better. You know, you're a passionate person who, you know, wants, you know, to be in touch with God, and that's why you're on this call, because I got that from your, you know, your things that you wrote to me, and you're the kind of person I want around.
Yeah. Well, I definitely, this thing resonates with me, and I'm very keen to, you know. So yeah, thank you. I'm very grateful.
And you could end up teaching this.
Yeah.
You probably.
I've got to, you know. I've got to teach. I'll do it, whatever, however that looks. You know, at some stage I've got to give it away. You know, otherwise it stagnates within me. You know, and that's not.
Yeah.
That's not expanding, is it? You know, that's just stagnating and trying to hold on to your idea of how things should be or whatever.
Well,
your own healing, which is just that's not healing. Is it?
It could look like earning a living, doing this with people.
Yeah.
That's how it could look. You know.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who need help and are totally willing to pay for it and want to, you know, want to help themselves. And they're worthwhile and fun to work with, and you know, there's a lot of joy in doing this stuff, you know.
Right. Look forward to it.
And I don't have time to spend with them, but presumably you do, you know. So.
Yeah.
That's where you come in. That's why I'm trying to, you know, draw people to me who can, you know, do that stuff with people and, you know, spend the time with them and earn their living that way. I already have a job, you know. I'm doing this, what you see me doing here. This is my job, you know. So I can't do everything.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do actually. When people get coached, I do go, I am there sometimes, and, you know, like I will help you learn and get started.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have the CureTeam behind you, too.
Thank God.
Yeah.
It helps us too to get, when you cure things, it empowers everybody here anyway. You know, it seems really inspired. I know Ron cured his, I cured mine, so I'm always doing it still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got negative blood test, right?
Yeah, I got a negative blood test once in 2006, and then I engaged with somebody that had it. I sort of got it back, and I disappeared it, and I still haven't had any outbreaks, but it showed up in a blood test about 9 months ago. But I haven't had any outbreaks for like quite a while now, like, you know. like every 3 weeks. But I haven't gotten tested again since then.
You know, Barb, one thing I have to say is, like, when you have episodes where your immune system goes down,
Yeah.
even
that's
if
what
you don't, like, you don't get a herpes outbreak, but you may regenerate your herpes without getting an outbreak. See,
yeah,
you
I get
don't.
other symptoms like just in my behavior.
Yeah, you
But-
don't necessarily have to get an outbreak to, and then see that pushes back the time to get the negative blood test.
Yeah.
See, every time you regenerate it, the clock starts again. So if it takes like
Yeah.
2 years to get it to make it completely die off,
Yeah.
then you know you've restarted. If you have one of these episodes, you've restarted the clock. Now it's going to
Yeah.
take you 2 years from this point, and you had like 9 good months in, you know, and
And I'm kind of looking forward to getting the next test just to show, to see that I can do that again.
Yeah.
I definitely don't get outbreaks anymore at all, and it just showed up. HSV1 showed up on my blood test, but I'll get tested again in another year.
you know HSV1 is the one that is the cofactor in cancer, Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to have that one. You know, you might be better off with the HSV2. You know, so just so you know, that's
I'm not sure which one I've got even. I'm not sure if I ever found out which one it was.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, now let's see. Wow, this is interesting. You know that I'm glad you came. You know, this was a kind of a fun way to spend this time. You know, since 2 of our members aren't here. Now, there was something else I wanted to tell you, Gus, which is this. I wrote a tweet yesterday, and the tweet says, Mother Teresa and we both look for people to help. Mother Teresa sought the needy, we seek the talented.
Nice. Nice.
And you're a talented person, I think. That's my sense of you, is that you have talent.
Yep.
I hope so. I hope to, yeah, I hope to put it to some use.
Well, I mean, you went to India and lived in a yoga thing, right?
Yeah, I did. I did a course out there.
How long were you there?
Well, that course was a 1 month intensive. It was a 500-hour, 1 month intensive. Yeah, it was 30 days, and it was like 16-hour days.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
Really intense. No, I've never even done yoga in my life before, so it was kind of a lot of learning because it's a lot of philosophy and everything like that. And I'd never had anything like it at the time, so it was brand new to me.
So you're a committed person.
I'm committed to the undoing of conceptual thinking.
Yeah, and that's a very good thing, you know, and that's, you know, that makes you talented, you know, commitment. Talent takes commitment.
Yeah, well, without happy, I wouldn't have stuck at it this long, I tell you. Hope is the only reason why I can even, but because of that, it's brought up all of my other stuff that I need to look at.
Yeah, right.
And
Sure.
I'm like, oh my God, it's a fucking endless.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
It's like, like the tip of the iceberg, really.
Well, some of us also have addictive backgrounds, like me, Ron, Barb. You know, we're addicts, you know, too. So, which brings me to Ron, and now you read the tweets, right?
Yes.
And one of the things I tweeted was this question, which is, is when you don't tweet about your accomplishments, which I know exist, are you exhibiting a symptom of low self-esteem?
I tested down on that.
Okay. What do the other people here test? Greg, what do you get?
Is he so low self-esteem?
When Ron doesn't tweet, is that low self-esteem?
I actually get yes, and it's very similar to my.
What about for you when you don't tweet? Is it low self-esteem? What do you get?
Well, I get no. It's not self-esteem. It's another dysfunction of But it's connected with self-esteem. It's just your willingness to, you know, be with other people. It's like you don't talk about yourself with other people. It's a separateness.
Yeah.
Right. For Ron and for me.
Yeah, see, you know, like our rule number one is like don't talk about immunics, you know? And see, what we want to see is people talking about themselves. We want to see you talking about yourself, you know, and helping other people do immunics. So, Barb, what did you get about Ron that when he doesn't tweet?
Pretty much exactly what Greg got.
I see. And Franny, what about you?
Hold on.
Did you get yes or no?
I got no.
Okay, she got no, Ron.
There's
Okay.
something else, yeah.
I knew there was something I liked about you, Franny.
Okay. Well, it's something to look at, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing I might ask you is, you know, how we were talking about how you want your life to change, but it hasn't
Right.
over the years. And what I want to know is that a symptom of low self-esteem?
I test no on that also.
Greg, what do you get, and Barb, what do you guys get? What about
Sorry, Ron, I got yes. Hey, wait a minute.
Barb?
How quickly they turn. Yeah, some kind of resist, like lack of courage, or like let's just maybe low self-esteem.
Nell, what'd you get? Gustaji, did you test that?
What was the question again?
The question is, Ron's life not change. He wants his life to change, and it hasn't. Is that a symptom of low self-esteem? Nell gets yes. Okay. Okay. So we've sort of been looking at this, this self-esteem question, you know, that like self-esteem is like a critical issue for the Cure team, because when you have low self-esteem, then the thing you've got is no good. So if your thing is you can cure things, then that's no good. Which brings me to Barb. Let me ask you something. Do people cure medically incurable diseases?
Excuse me, Gus, go on mute, please. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Greg. Barb, do people cure... Oh, no. The minute I asked her that question, right? Oh, no. It dropped her. She didn't do that. It actually dropped her.
Well, yeah, maybe her hookup. Yeah, this whole thing of self-esteem is bigger than, you know, test this, Ron, is it bigger than your ideas, your ideas of self-esteem? I mean, that's what I'm telling you, Ron, because it's what I've done.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I get a yes on that.
Yeah. It's really fully being yourself, regardless of all the other things I'm thinking. You know, for myself, I'm learning so much to fully accept and allow myself to be myself, rather than doing all sorts of little things that just seem normal during the day that kind of disconnect me from just truly being myself. My voice has actually changed.
Wow.
Things, you know, just my whole sense of the world has changed. And Barb is gone.
Keep going.
Were you doing great, though? I love what you're talking about. Go on.
Yeah, I used to have this little dysfunctional thought that self-esteem, oh, I have to do something about it. And I think this is good for Barb to hear. And so I would see the same thing that I see in Barb is you're trying to build yourself up, but then, oh, that's false. And then you go down, I got to go back. And you like, it's a spiral, up and down, up and down. For me, self-esteem is fully accepting what would normally, you know, in the old way, can be considered bad or good about me. So I just accept it, and then I get to see what it is and get to investigate that and say, okay, what is really this all about? What am I after? Why am I manifesting this? But it's in the sense of all this is what it is. I accept me and I accept all this, and I'm not changing, trying to change life. I'm not trying to change God. I'm just investigating more and seeing what it's all about and curing whatever there is to cure.
Well,
so, yeah, go ahead, Ron.
No, the only thing when you were talking, what came up for me was what came up for me the other day, and that was, you know, the questions are going to come up naturally. You follow me? It's not like I have to force myself to create questions about myself. It's like, no, just sit there and allow the questions to come.
That's the thing about having it as an innate ability just to test things. So it's not like, oh my gosh, I have to go through this thing of testing and all that. No, it's you're testing all the time, but to remember to test, so you're just seeing it's coming up for you. As opposed to many people who are sleeping and they're not working like that. You're in a new level of awareness. So I agree with you. You let them come up. But then again, if something presents itself, you let that come up. If someone, like in this meeting here, if someone says, okay, Ron, test this. Then someone is seeing something or asking you to test something that wasn't maybe there on the tip of your brain.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so, but we're talking about self-esteem and just having it be just, at least for me, was allowing myself fully to be me and taking whatever is what would normally be considered good or bad, like investigating something, oh, this is terrible about me or good about me, and just...
It's also, I was talking about this morning with Nancy, it's also being willing to like take an action, even if it's a baby step. Like if you test that something's bad for you or just not working, you got to let it go. If you test that if you add something to your routine or to your life, then you got to go ahead and do it. You got to follow your testing too. You got to take action on what you know, and then it really can build fast. You can get momentum, and regenerate yourself.
Well, I could tweet about this. I just I see that I'm fuller and more mature and more involved in some ways, that accepting things and then allow myself to really investigate them rather than keep spinning my wheels in that area.
And remember that guy, we had a friend named Ray Haldeman in Philadelphia, Ron, and he owned a very successful restaurant down there by the lakefront, and he used to have a sign. We always tell the story above his bedroom door when he woke up and said, "Follow your rules." Like, in other words, follow your own rules. Like, don't be true to yourself. Like, figure out what's only whether you betrayed yourself or came through for yourself that day too. And so when I do that, I always feel better. I know whether it was how I ate or how I was in each interaction or whatever it is that are my rules that work for me.
Hey, Ron, do you actually remember Ray?
I never met him, but I was in his restaurant. I used to work at City Tavern in 2nd and Walnut.
Okay.
Wow.
You know, I want to say that Ray was a wonderful friend.
Nice.
He was a great friend, and he died of AIDS.
Yes.
And he's one of the reasons why I'm so committed to doing this.
Well, I didn't know him, but I know his restaurant was magnificent, and I got to go into it. I only went into it once.
Yeah.
And I worked at 2nd and Walnut at City Tavern, and that was my first bartending job in Philly. And the restaurateur, Michael Nylon, knew him, of course. So I went over there to see his restaurant, and it was really beautiful.
Well, he was one of my students. He was one of the very first people who ever signed up for our entrepreneurial courses.
Wow.
Yeah, Bootsy's online.
And he partially traded a credit, at like about $3,000 at the restaurant.
Wow.
So we used to go to the restaurant, and eat there because, we had this credit, And I remember going back in the kitchen with him and so on. I mean, I also remember him taking me out to sushi. And, he was, amazed at how much I could eat. I remember that really well. Oh, that was too much fun, He was just a wonderful person. Hi, Bootsy.
Hi.
So now, that all being said, I wanted to go back to Barb, because before you got cut off, I was asking you a question, which is, do people cure medically incurable diseases with us?
Yes.
Now, if you remember when we were talking about you walking around and approaching people, there was a point where you blurted out that you didn't want to make that claim. Do you remember that?
Not exactly, but I know that I've had that idea, so I'm not surprised if I might have said that.
Okay. Now that is a symptom of low self-esteem.
Yeah, I got a couple major.
Here's the thing, okay? That for many, many years now, well, I mean, as long as me, you and I discovered this at the same time. 93 for me, 94 for you. And you have been watching people cure medically incurable diseases and helping them do that, and been recorded on 150 cure shows, with somebody curing a medically incurable disease on the Cure Show, and made movies where they cured medically incurable diseases. And then as recently as, 10 days ago, you blurt out, well, I don't want to make that claim. And that is a symptom of low self-esteem, because when you have low self-esteem, then whatever you've got is no good. So you can't make any claims for it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the chicken and the egg, too. Like when I'm under a lot of attack, then my esteem goes down, and then I doubt myself, and then manifest more attack.
Okay, here's the thing. You notice what you just said. When I'm under a lot of attack, my esteem goes down. And that, you gave responsibility. Hang on, wait.
When I do the work, then I attract attack too.
Yeah, you gave responsibility. You gave responsibility to the attack.
Well, okay. Well, I'm just saying.
In other words, if I translate what you said into real language, what you said was, when I get attacked, I let myself, be destroyed by it. I don't immunize myself to it and take all the steps I need to diffuse the attack. I allow myself to be attacked and harmed. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, I stopped trusting myself as much.
Yeah. So if you take responsibility, and you could then change that, because you don't want to say things like that about yourself. See, because that generates low self-esteem, saying that stuff. So what you would then want to say is, when I am attacked, I cream my attackers. I remove all the effects of the attack. I disconnect from the assailants. I go out and redouble my efforts to get what I want and need. And I really cut them off, so that I'm actually, 5 minutes later, I'm enjoying myself, and it's like it never happened.
That feels good.
That's what you want to be saying about yourself. See, I'm a killer. Anybody who attacks me is in for a big problem. It's true. And so, okay, so this is this ongoing conversation about self-esteem, because, see, one thing I want to mention right here at this point is that having meetings doesn't actually help the Cure team. It doesn't help our efforts. The thing that helps our efforts is talking to people. Barb, you're typing.
I'm telling you. All right. Telling Bootsy the camera just went off.
Oh, Bootsy, your camera just went off.
I know. I had to turn it off a minute.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. No
I
problem.
had to do something inappropriate.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get moved, so I'm happy you turned it
cure
off.
inappropriate behavior.
I'm glad to see you cured that inappropriate.
The behavior's okay,
We
but we
accept-
sure
we
that
accept-
it was inappropriate. If your self-esteem is good, it's
We
not.
cure the idea that anything is inappropriate.
There are inappropriate things.
What were you saying?
All right, I'm back.
Okay. Well, see, what helps the Cure Drive is talking to people who don't cure things or don't know about it, and especially people who have the potential to contribute and help. That's what helps the Cure Drive. Meetings don't help. And I found a movie about that today, and I put it on the movie list. And this is a really good movie, and the title of the movie is Why Work Doesn't Happen at Work. And the reason is that all companies have this problem. They have all these meetings, and Barb, you talked to me about this. You said, we're meeting and meeting and meeting. This is stupid. We're getting nowhere, you know? And if you notice, I stopped calling you and having all those strategy discussions. You notice that?
Yes.
Because I was wasting your time, you know? And I decided I'm going to put this in a meeting on Friday. We'll all orient ourselves. So what we're doing here in this meeting is helping us. We're helping ourselves in this meeting, you know? And, you know, and then maybe you guys will do some volunteer work, which you can easily do because you don't have this problem. You don't have an office to go into. So you're not going to have a million interruptions. You can actually go get something done. Yeah, after this meeting, you're not sitting in an office with people continually coming over, handing you papers, or, hey, let's have another meeting, or come here, I need to talk about it. Could you have a look at this, or whatever. And poor Franny is unfortunately in this position of having me here all day. Say, Franny, could you come look at this? Oh dear. So, see, what I wanted to tell Gastagi is this is the Cure Team meeting. What we're trying to do is tip Cure into global consciousness. And when Cure tips into global consciousness, everybody on Earth will know that they can cure things. Now, Gastagi, is your thing
Frozen?
Is your picture frozen? Or are you there still?
I'm here.
Okay, all right. I guess your picture just froze. All right, but anyway, you heard what I was saying. I couldn't see it on your face because your picture's frozen. But whatever.
No, I heard it.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Global consciousness, yeah.
totally fine. Totally fine.
Celebrate.
Okay, lost Franny again.
Yeah.
Call you back though.
I used to say I'm all over it like herpes until I caught it.
There we got it. Be careful.
Gastagi, I just tell Bootsy because you came a little late. Gastagi is actually a guest. He's not on the Cure Team. He is planning to do an immersion weekend, and I invited him here so he could, you know, get a little experience.
Welcome.
So that's what he's doing here.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Okay. And now, okay, so what I wanted to go into is I want everybody to look in the computer, and I want you to go to the home page and look at the Total Immersion Weekend sheet that's in there. It's not a sheet, you know, the page about the total immersion weekend, the Immunix total immersion 3-day weekend page. Right? And let me know when you're all there, okay? So we can talk about this page.
I'm there.
Okay. I want to talk about the page. Now, Bootsy, you've seen this page, am I right? Before?
Probably a long time ago. I think,
Okay.
yeah, months ago when we talked about it.
All right, Ron, have you ever seen it?
No, I'm at the home page and I don't see it. Wait a minute.
Okay,
It's
it's
under the starter kit.
right at the...
Okay.
Okay, Greg's
We can
there.
open that up then, right?
Yeah, Franny, are you there?
Okay, I see.
It's not personal cure coaching, is that it?
No.
No. All right, well, I'm on the hub, so I need to go there.
Yeah, you got to go to the home page.
The key is his
It's
starter
in the
kit.
starter kit. Oh, okay, I see it there, yeah.
Okay, so there it is. Now, just for Bootsy, for your benefit, a couple of things I thought of that maybe, you and or Georg might not know. One thing is that these are donations.
Right.
See, I'm
No,
kind
I
of...
haven't seen this page. Okay.
You what?
I know.
I've never seen this page.
Okay.
That's why.
Somebody was saying I should have written more, but actually what I did was put movies on the page. And so, you know how... Georg was saying that he wanted to prepare himself, right?
Yeah.
And there's his preparation. Those movies would be part of it.
Hey, Gus, go back on mute, please, or turn your speakers down. Thank you.
Thanks. So Georg should watch these movies, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You'll show those. I want you to show this page to him. It's something, when we had our courses, and let's say somebody hadn't done the intensive and they were in the course, right? And what an assistant would do is the assistant would walk the person over to this big wall that we had, in the front office. When on the breaks from the course, they would go in the front office. So they were all out in the front office, and the assistant would walk the person over, and there was this sheet, and it was on the wall with push pins, and it was tacked. It was like 5 pages, and it ran down the wall. And the assistant would say, read this sheet, it's about the intensive, so you'll understand what the intensive, because everybody was telling this person to do the intensive, and they'd say, well, what the hell is the intensive anyway?
Right.
And so he'd say, well, why don't you just read this sheet, and then you'll know more about it. So this is what you should do with Georg, the same thing, it's exactly the same thing. You just show him this, and tell him, to watch the movies. So anyway, one thing is, see, I would bet that he doesn't know that it's a donation.
Right.
He probably thinks he's paying for a service.
Yes.
And, and that is absolutely the wrong way to approach this. Because then he's, you were saying it, this is where I got this thought to tell you this, because you were saying yesterday that he's expecting this to be another kind of therapy, and the therapist is going to do this for him.
Yeah.
And it's not. So he needs to she should just watch these movies and kind of assimilate, because, there's certainly, good coaching here, and, people who have lots of insights about him and, can help him and you and your relationship and all that stuff, It's all good, But he just really does need to understand that he's doing it, he's donating to a worthy cause, and some volunteers are then volunteering to show up and help him do things that he needs to do for himself. Makes sense, right?
Totally, yeah.
It's kind of like, for example, one example that I used to give is, how when you get married and you go to the, church and they hand you usually a price list.
Mm-hmm.
And, the different wedding services and how much each minister costs. You can have the main guy for this amount, or you can have this junior guy for this and so on. And those are all donations.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're standard donations. Somebody, I read this in the newspaper. Somebody suggested to the Church of England that they stop charging for weddings since it was donations. If it's really a donation, why don't you make it optional? And the Church of England, their official reply to this suggestion was that we would have to close the church if we did that.
Right.
So that's the story about donations, okay? Also, another thing is, you probably don't know, it says that the balances are due 3 weeks in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So if are you planning to do this thing May 8th?
May 4th?
I don't. Could you look at a calendar? Do you have a calendar on your computer that you?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what day you're planning to do it. Tell me the date.
May. So 4th and 5th, the weekend of May 4th.
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday.
So count back 3 weeks and tell me when that's due.
Okay.
She already paid $900 yesterday. I wrote Greg that.
Oh. Did you notice that, Greg, that you got $900?
No, she sent it to my PayPal. I'm sending it to Greg.
No, and I didn't want you to do that. I got your message.
We tried to reach you. Yeah, well, just anyway, tell me how to send it to
late
you.
at night.
Okay.
Bootsy, I sent you Facebook messages about to wire or send us a check, which is what Georg said he was going to do, send us a check from his California bank. I also said you could wire or from either, or send a check from California or from the Austrian bank, and it gave you our banking information.
Yeah, because see, they take money. PayPal took out money when you wired it.
Also, it was to you, Barb, rather than to Hum. So it's not going to be, Barb, it's your income, unless you've got it as a church.
You don't want to have that on your books.
And also, if you want to take it as a tax, tax deductible donation, you can't really do that, Bootsy.
Yeah.
So Barb, you could return it, and Bootsy, you could send it to us. We're gonna, if you sent $900, we'll probably get, I don't know, $30 taken out of that for.
Yes. See, another thing, by the way, is that Georg was planning to talk to Greg, and somehow he managed to push that away. And what he's trying to do is disengage himself.
Let's test him also.
Yeah, well, sure, test it. Was Georg trying to disengage himself by doing that?
I think we already tested that.
What do you get, Franny?
Yes.
You're on mute.
I heard her, yes.
We heard you in the back.
Yes.
Okay.
He didn't want to own it for himself.
Ron, what do you get?
He's on mute.
I got a yes on that.
What, Franny?
I said, it's Ron. I said I got a yes on that.
Okay. All right, good. Okay, so, see, okay, now let's go back to the CureTeam, okay? Last meeting, okay, what we were talking about is, I was talking to Barb, okay? But this is everybody, this is all of us. We have to learn how to get people involved. Let me go to Ron here, okay? I'm going to bring you up here, Ron.
I'm here.
Okay. Now, you've helped tons of people cure things.
Yeah.
Every time I turn around, I hear another story about somebody who was getting the flu, and you helped the person, they cured the flu, right?
Yeah.
Never have I seen a single one of those people sign up for the web college, come to a meeting, nothing. Because you are deficient in this skill of getting people to involve themselves. In fact, what you may be doing is actually helping them disinvolve themselves. You know, they had the flu, they cured it, and bye-bye, okay? They can, you know, they can release themselves from the hospital now. You know, they were sick yesterday, but now everything's fine. They don't have to think about themselves ever again. And so they're not getting anything, because the whole point of curing these physical diseases is for the person to connect with God. That's why God gave us the cure. Because see, these people, most people that when they cure things, they don't believe in God, most of these people. But boy, when they start talking to God, after a while, God becomes an undeniable reality in their lives. You know? Now that's up to us as the unified ministers of World Harmonic Unified Ministers, like what we're supposed to be doing. Like Bootsy, to go to you, your friend, you know, who you we're in London with.
Yeah.
And somebody was getting the flu, her or her daughter.
Yeah, her daughter, yeah.
Her daughter was getting the flu, and she cured it. Would have ruined her vacation.
Well, she wasn't on, she lives there, but yeah.
Oh, I mean,
she was going away for the weekend and not wanting to be sick.
And also it would have ruined the visit.
Yeah,
that
sure.
you were having all together, and so on, and she cured it. But are we going to be hearing from her? Did she get involved? Is she involved now?
No.
Does she want to, you know, does she want Cure to tip so everybody in the world can cure things?
I mean, maybe she does.
Does she care about children in Bangladesh?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Probably she does. Probably she's socially conscious, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Never for a second did it ever even cross her mind that this might be something that might help children in Bangladesh, though, did it?
No.
Didn't get it.
But when I told her about it, it didn't even, like, it was just, oh, yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, she didn't doubt it or deny it or see what are you talking about for a second. But
see,
she was raised, you know, in the...
The funny thing is, we get this all the time. The person says, I'm going to the website.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it. Never hear from them. You know, you run into them like, you know, a few months later and you say, hey, what about that? Did you go to the website? What happened? And they're going like, hey, great to see you. Website? What website? No, wait a minute. Okay, last time I saw you, that's right, we were at that, yeah, okay. Oh, you mean no, you know, that was great stuff, funny thing, you know, no, I never actually, that's what it looks like, okay?
I've sent people to the website and they've actually gone there.
I'm absolutely sure they did. How long did they spend?
I told them to watch the movie. Like, one of my friends' husband has Parkinson's, and I said, hey, you know, you can cure this or you can get rid of your symptoms, you know, you need to do this. And he's like, thank you, you know, and he goes over there and I said, you got to watch that movie. And then I talked to him later and he says, well, you know, that was really way too long. I couldn't get through the whole thing.
Really, see?
He was not involved.
No.
He was not involved. It is a skill. Look,
yeah.
when I look at, you know, people who are failing in various ways, and, you know, to go back to Ron, you know, Ron, you want your life to change, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you a tip. There are certain skills that you don't have now that you need to build. And when you build those, your life will change. If you really build them, your life will change. You know? And building skills is hard.
Right.
One of the skills is getting people involved, which is the one we're talking about here. There are probably a bunch of other ones that don't even relate to the CureTeam, you know, but you'll discover them. Funny thing about building skill, when you start building one skill, it seems like other skills start building.
Hello?
Yeah, that's here still, you know. All I had to say was, when you start building one skill, other skills begin to build. You know, you build one, others
Yeah.
build. And so somehow, Boots, in your, you know, you're wonderful with teaching people and helping people cure things and all that. You're just great at that. You've got that skill already. See, this is something like, see, when I tell Barb that she needs to build a skill, there's Barb, okay, I'll talk to you for a minute, okay? I told you, oh, you have this skill, you need to build this skill of getting people involved. And you say, well, I thought I already was skilled. You know, you see, to you it means that you're absolutely no good because you don't have this skill. You're abysmally, awfully, horribly wrong, and because that's your self-esteem issue. And it becomes very hard for very skilled people who have low self-esteem to build skill because they're thinking, oh no, you know, I can't, you know, I'm just no good. I have nothing. So Bootsy, you know you have something, right?
Yeah.
Okay? And when you watch yourself, you know, playing with Georg, okay, and you've been interacting with Georg, can you see how you have failed in this skill of getting him involved?
Yes.
And how did you fail? Tell me.
Well, I didn't, I wanted to do it for him, you know, like you know, he makes a commitment and then he kind of pushes it on me and then I do it instead of saying, hey, you said you would do it, you need to handle that.
You wanted him to be able to not be involved because you thought if he had to be involved, he wouldn't do it. Yes?
Yeah, I thought he would, you know, he would blow out. He would refuse to do it if I put too much on him, you know.
Yeah. Well, actually, the reverse is true. If you want to get something done, ask a busy person.
That's true.
You know, and if you want somebody to be involved, tell them to do things. Like, I'll give you a simple example, okay? You told your friend, go to the, you know, you have Parkinson's disease, okay? So you told your friend, go watch that movie, and the person actually went there, and it looked like they were going to do it, and there was something that you didn't do when you told them to watch the movie. What was it?
I don't know.
Why? Why don't you know?
Because I figure like I gave him something to do and he should do it. I should have asked him later, like called him up and say, hey, did you watch that movie? Like follow up on it.
No. Actually, no. No, because see, you're doing it again. When you follow up on somebody, they're not involved. And when you follow up on them, you're telling them that they're not involved. So you're putting this mindset that's the absolute opposite of what you want them to have. I never follow up on anybody. I don't follow up on people, okay? And let them go. Bye. Oh,
well, then he didn't watch it, and then that's his problem.
Yeah, you're going to die. Bye. That's all. So what? I don't need you in the world. Who cares? I park closer if you don't exist anymore. That's what it means to me. You know, I don't get to the movies and find I got to park 3 blocks away because you're dead now, so your car isn't in my parking spot. Okay?
Yeah.
More for me. That's what I get. You know, you're dead. Bye. You know, I don't follow up. You want to cure this? You better follow up, you know? So, okay, so what could you have done when you told him to watch the movie? Come on, make it up. How would you have gotten him a little more involved?
Well, you know, honestly, like, I told him to watch the movie. If he doesn't do it, that's his problem. Like, you know, I'm not...
Yes, you can look at it that way.
Follow up. I happened to speak to him, like, a week later, and he started telling me about, you know, some Forum Warner Earhart course that was like taking, and that other thing just didn't speak to him. It wasn't the right conversation. I did about whatever, you know.
Okay, wait, hang on. Just to backtrack, okay? All I'm saying is that when you assigned that movie to him, that was good. And if you want to build the skill of getting people involved, there were other things that you could have done at that very same time. And I'm wondering if you know what any of them are, or can you make them up? This is for you, so that you build this skill. It's not for your schmuck who is going to keep his Parkinson's disease forever. And he isn't going to cure it, he's going to die of it. So who cares about him? I care about you. You're actually somebody I can develop. You know, so what...
Well, I could have told him to join the web college.
No. See, again, that's, you know... Okay, why don't... That doesn't actually involve anybody.
I got a suggestion.
Go ahead, Barb, what?
Because I made the same thing. Is you tell him and you say, okay, well, you know, the movie's really long, so you might have to break it up in chunks. Call me when you're done watching it.
That's good.
Tell me what you got.
Yeah, see...
Or even call you in the
Call me after the first hour.
Yeah.
You don't get people involved with immunics. Don't talk about immunics. Rule number 1, don't talk about immunics. They get involved with you.
Yeah.
See? They're involved, like Georg is involved with you. You know, like this whole thing with Georg calling Greg and you calling Greg and all this stuff that's been going on. Like, Greg and Franny and I have been talking about this. And I asked that, you know, about, you know, like, does Greg ever say, oh, I owe these people money, Franny, could you call them for me? You know? Do you have any idea what Franny would say to Greg if he ever said that to her? Just 3 hours worth of whatever.
Well, I tried that once in California and San Francisco, and I got the shit beaten out of me.
What happened?
Well, I asked Russ to pay Greg back because he had money, and Russ kept saying that Greg was okay with us not paying it back, and I said he's not, and we got into this almost like a fist fight. You know, and so I was emotionally kind of beaten up, you know, because, like, you know, I was like out on a limb there with no...
See, the thing is that I have seen you Red Cross Greg and do dysfunctional behaviors with Greg many times.
I did it once in New York, and Russ broke my watch and everything.
But I can just tell you, I can tell you this, that if Greg asked you to call the power and light company or somebody else and handle, you know, because he was late on a payment, you would tell him, no, I'm not calling him, you call him. You wouldn't call them. You would say, you know, handle it, it's your thing, you know, you handle it. That's what you always do, for the most part. In addition to the other dysfunctional behaviors, you do not take on the thing, okay? So here's the thing, Boots, that every little thing that Georg does gets him more involved, and he's involved with you. And so when you say, call Greg and deal with the money because this is not working, you know, he's involved with you. And he says, oh, I see. So this is your immersion weekend. I want you to call Greg so that you're in the immersion weekend. Or when you tell your friend, look, watch this movie and call me. You know, it's 4.5 hours long. Call me in about an hour, after you're an hour into it, and I'll maybe give you a little, you know, pointer on it. I want to see you cure this, you know. And then you find out that it's not the right conversation and the forum's better, and you say, okay, well, all right, great, see you later, you know. Because you don't want to try to get somebody like that involved because he's no good.
Yeah.
But see, that's how you find out whether people are any good. You get them involved to a point where they reveal themselves. That's how you select people, so it actually saves time.
But you're also protecting yourself. See, like, I was thinking about this yesterday, that most problems that people have is when they're thinking only of themselves. Okay, you know, it seems like they're trying to help somebody, but they're really thinking about how they can do it without, you know, getting in trouble. So that's a very selfish way. I mean, that's why relationships fail, because if you're not looking at the other person and seeing what he needs and caring about him, and you're just thinking, oh, well, I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I need this, well, then it's not going to work.
Well, Bootsy, test that about yourself. Is that one of my problems, what Franny was just saying? Because I don't think she was saying it was your problem, but might be, so test it. Everybody test that for Boots. Is that one of Bootsy's problems?
Well, she's trying to do it for herself. No.
Boots, what'd you get?
I got yes.
You got yes. Greg, what about you?
Like a yes.
Maybe you want to give people approval. Yeah.
You got yes. Okay,
Well,
so
I wasn't going to say this, but now I'm going to say it.
okay.
One of the things that Georg says he doesn't like about me is that because we live in Austria, he has to do a lot of things because of the language problem. Like he has to deal with the day-to-day things like calling plumbers and all this stuff. And he, you know, if you can handle some things, that would really help me, you know. So he wanted me to do this because, like, you know, he's got so much to do, and it's something that I can do. So I went along with it.
You know, that is
okay, like,
that's an appropriate request for him to make under those circumstances. I'm behind him in that. Now the thing is, this is your dysfunction because you took a course, you passed it, you can speak German, you can call a plumber, you may sound a little funny to the plumber, but you can get the plumber over there. And you should be doing all of that for the house. When you're home and he's at work, you should be talking to all the people who, you know, you have to work with and deal with.
yeah, you know, and I've been doing that since the course and the whole thing.
Okay, so then
there's, you know, this issue he has with me, and he said, well, can you take care of this? I say, okay, you know, you could take care of this and this and this. So I just did it for that reason, like I was trying to help him out.
Not when he said he can call Greg. I just think it's better if he talks to Greg and works it out with him.
Well, yeah, it's better.
So, you know, for this purpose, I think it's better that he said he was going to, and you weren't even able to. So no call came that Monday. That's what happened. You know, because your cell phone cut off. You know, you were in London, and it just wasn't an appropriate thing for him to ask you to do under those circumstances. But this is good, you know. What we're dealing with here. See, one of the reasons this is hard is because I'm talking about getting people involved. And it's so easy to fall into the trap that you and me, Bootsy, were just falling into, where I'll train you to get somebody involved, and you go to this person, and the person's wrong. He's the wrong person, you know, to get involved. And you're thinking, but I'm supposed to be getting this person involved, right, Barb? You know, it's like, you know,
exactly. It's trying to do what you want.
It just makes us crazy, you know, that, you know, you tell the person but see, what you're trying to do is you're trying to involve the person and you together enough, and it may only take a moment. Okay? For example, okay, suppose, Bootsy, like, can you see yourself, like, walking down the street, handing people bumper stickers and asking them to put them on cars?
No.
Okay, why?
Because I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but why can't you see yourself doing that?
Well,
why don't you want to do that?
It just doesn't sound like fun, you know?
Okay. So, is there any other reason besides it doesn't sound like fun?
No.
Okay, so you only do things that are fun.
I try.
Or that sound like you only do.
That's on George's list.
You only do things that sound like fun, right?
Well, I would try it, and if it was fun, I would continue to do it. But it doesn't sound like fun.
Okay. Do you ever do things that are absolutely horrible and not fun at all, but you want to learn something from them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, for example, the German course, right?
That was fun, and I knew it was going to be fun.
It was fun, okay. I'm glad to hear it, because somehow got the idea when you were in it that you loathed it. But anyway.
No, it was good. I met a lot of fun people.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. Because this is the first time I ever got a real take on it. Okay. So.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So anyway, whether you think it's fun or not or whatever, and obviously you can't do it where you are, so it's not even an issue. But why don't you try to picture yourself just for a moment right here doing this? Okay. And you walk over to somebody, and you say, please put this on your car and or donate something. Okay, you walk. Just picture yourself doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you? And it only took a second, right?
Right.
And so it happened and it passed, and now you're on. Now, do you notice a couple of things? Number one is that you were involving the person. Yes.
Yeah.
In some way, and because they were involved, they reacted. In some, you got a response, or a reaction, or something. Was it like, I mean, it was positive or negative or whatever it was. Now, do you notice that because of that, you were able to evaluate that person?
Yeah.
Just in that instant. So if the person just shook their head and let's say, no, I'm not interested, I don't want this. Go, please don't talk to me. You were able to evaluate the person.
Yeah.
And you could feel inside yourself like, gee, too bad, he's going to die of something he doesn't need to die of. That's a shame, What a waste, right? Now another person, smiled and, then liked you and said, what is that, right?
Yeah.
So you were involved again, yes, with the person. Yeah. And also you evaluated the person. Yeah? And so now you went on, you handed the person the sticker, and she dug around in her purse and got out some money and handed you some money, right? And that was a further evaluation. You look at the money and you go, okay, this is what the person's willing to donate. And now you're watching the person, and she starts to walk on. She's not asking any questions, doesn't have she's just moving on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's a further evaluation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a great way to get people to reveal themselves.
Yes.
So see, what we're saying here is that in any activity, like where you're doing this, now suppose you're with a friend and you tell them, go to the homepage, watch the movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How good is that as an evaluation?
It's not great.
Yeah, it's not as good as handing them the bumper sticker. Why?
Well, because you can't really interact with them.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
you're
exactly.
Just giving them a task, and maybe they do it, maybe they don't.
That's absolutely right. It's kind of like, for example, suppose the person said, okay, sure, and they hold out their hand, and you hand them the bumper sticker, right? The bumper sticker passes into their hand, and they disappear. Like suddenly they vanish.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's like to tell somebody to go to the homepage and watch the movie.
Right.
It's like there's no more information. You're right in the middle of this interaction, and there's no more information. And that's why you need to say, call me after you watch a little of it or something like that, because you want to get them involved. Getting people involved is about doing a lot of little tiny things. Like, for example, like you want your immersion weekend to work. Yes, you want him to cure things.
Yeah.
You also wanted this guy to cure his Parkinson's, right?
Yeah.
Now, we have a cure show about Parkinson's. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's why I sent him there.
Yeah, did you ever listen to it?
No.
You don't really need to, but he does. Now, the thing that's not in the cure show is that woman who was
Rosella is online, excuse me.
Oh, great. That woman who was in that, cure show,
mm-hmm.
the next time Barb saw her, she was riding a motorcycle.
She made me a really nice piece of art too. I have it here. There it is.
Yep, that's right. She was riding a motorcycle. Hi, Ross.
I helped another guy too. It was really great.
Yep.
He was at a party.
They absolutely, totally erased their symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And this poor guy doesn't know that. He has no idea. And he looked at that movie, and it's not the fault of me or the movie or you and Barb who were demonstrating all the stuff in the movie and so on. It isn't. You know what it is, really? It's just that he isn't involved. He can't get it. He can't see it. He has to be more inside of it. In order to assimilate it, he has to get inside of it. Boots,
Yep.
you with me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, turn your camera back on.
Okay, I just had to do something.
Oh, I see. Again?
She had to put her leg up by her ear.
Are you being inappropriate again?
Yeah. No, I'm just pressing. See?
You're
doing the Madonna thing.
What did you say? You're just pressing?
Stretching. She can put her leg up by her ear.
Oh, you're stretching. Okay.
Yes, I'm stretching because I'm sitting in a cross-legged lotus position, and I need to
I don't blame you.
reach out once in a while.
I don't blame you, and it's okay to put your leg by your ear while you're on camera. That's not obscene or anything. It's not distracting. It's okay. And plus, maybe somebody will come take a yoga class with you if you keep it up. You might actually get a customer. You know, you never know about people. You know. So there's like a bajillion things that we can do to get people a little more involved. But the thing is, when you're doing this thing with Georg, and you want him to, you want him to actually. You want him to change, and boy, I gotta say, I just want to show everybody something else. You're on this Immunix, you have this, hopefully you still have this page open of the Total Immersion Weekend, and at the bottom of it, it says Personal Cure Coaching. You see that?
Yeah.
Somebody's typing.
Right.
You see the... Click on the Personal Cure Coaching and just, you have to enter your password to... So I guess that's why he was typing. Now, Barb, do you see where it says... Can you see this, Barb?
Yeah. Why do you have to have a password, I wonder? I guess.
Because I don't want anybody to see it who isn't a member.
Okay, they're in. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, do you see where it says 3 months donation $6,300?
Yes.
That is where you want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? You want to have a client who loves you and who says, oh my God, my 3 months are almost over. Here, I'm just mailing you a check for another $6,300. That is what you want, That kind of client, not the 1 month wonder or the immersion weekends or all this stuff. You want somebody who's in for the long haul.
Yep.
The real thing. The person is the real thing. And, if I think about the CureTeam and I ask myself, suppose, picture Ross except it's the same person except she has $30 million. Okay? Do you think...
Nice.
Yeah. And lives in a villa in northern Italy with a staff of 3 and a gardener. And now her husband won't do Immunix and he's sick. So, he has full-time nurse next to his bed. And, I bet that Ross would say, I get so much more when I have a coach. Even though I'm a master at this, and I help people all the time, but I get so much more, so I have Barb as my coach. And it wouldn't, because the money wouldn't mean anything to her. Of course, maybe sometimes it helps when the money does mean something to people, but you know what? you guys are all so self-starting and responsible for yourselves that it's pretty nice that you can. I mean, you've done this on your own. That's the thing that's really amazing to me, is that you few people, see, you really are exceptional. And you know what? Like, I keep saying you're exceptional, and you keep thinking, oh, Bart's just trying to flatter me, and all this crap you think about me. Bullshit. You are exceptional. Look at this guy with Parkinson's, Bootsy.
Yeah.
He does not have what you've got. You understand?
Yeah.
He doesn't have what you've got. You really are exceptional. Most people are like him. But I made that movie, that 4-hour movie. I made that movie for people who are like you. I don't want people like him. I want people like you. And people like you watch that movie and they get it. They start doing it. And I've talked to some of them. And not all of them are on the CureTeam, and not all of them are as good as you still. But there are people who watch that and they get it. And they start doing it. And they cure things. And those are the people I made the movie for. I learned how to sort people. And boy, one thing I'll say about like handing out bumper stickers is it teaches you how to sort people. Truly. Truly it does. So with that, we're almost to the end of our meeting. I mean, really, we are at the end of our meeting. This is the end of our meeting. So, but I feel like, anybody want to say anything, make any closing remarks before we go?
I wasn't here for the meeting, so I don't know what you have been talking about. I just want to say that my husband has just arrived home. He's very sick, and I am really very grateful to have him in Munich, because I am calm and clear, and I can handle all these things to Munich and to all of you. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. Same here.
And you know what? At the CureTeam meeting came that pivotal moment when I asked you, can you let go of Roberto? And you tested that you could. Remember?
Yes. I remember, yes.
And that's why you were powerful when you went to the doctor.
Yes.
And you could ask for what you want. It's the root of all your power, that you can let go of Roberto. There was this one little issue that should have been totally self-evident, and they never are. You need somebody. You always need somebody to say it.
Yes.
And that's why we're tweeting and talking to each other all the time, because it helps to have somebody to say it, somebody there to say it,
Yes.
And see, the thing, Boots, about this whole thing with Georg calling Greg and all that stuff, which may seem like a major piece of trivia, the thing is that if you notice, you want to transform your marriage somehow. You don't quite know what direction you want it to go in, but you want it to transfer. You want it to change. Like Ron wants his life to change. You want your life to change. And the thing is, you notice with the thing about like doing this, you just went right back into the way you've always done it.
Yeah.
The way you've been doing it. So what we're talking about here is do it differently. Build your skills.
This is really important, I test, for me and for everybody.
And we're talking about this one skill right now, the skill of getting people involved, and it's an important skill. It's not the only skill in the world. We're going to be talking about some other skill next week or whatever, probably, But the thing is, we have to build all of them. We have to build the skill of sorting people. We have to build the skill of getting... And, the horror of it is, sometimes the people we're sorting are the person we're in love with. And we're realizing this person may die because he's got cancer and he's not going to cure it. So we have to sort him out. And it's like, it can really just be too much. And for Barb, like, stay strong, baby. all day. Stay strong.
I'm feeling it, thank you. Yep.
Play your game and send your game completion tweets.
Okay. I was telling Nancy about my game, and then Nancy goes, well, just go do it. And I said, will you give me some money? I said, I mean, may I have some money? And she's like, yeah. She pulled it. She goes, I got $1. She goes, oops, it's a 20.
Nancy's a pretty good egg, you know. You gotta give her some credit, you know.
No, she's awesome.
We're gonna have to have her as a guest on this.
I know, totally. Yeah, it's time. They're ready. Both of them, Robin and Nancy.
Well, they could both be on, you know.
Definitely. It'd be great.
These are two of the very first people who ever started doing this.
I know.
Like long ago. This is 1995.
That's right.
This is like 2 years after I discovered it, okay?
Yep.
So, well, guys, this has been great. Another good one.
Nice meeting you, Gus.
All right, Boots, anything more to say?
Yes.
Probably see you in your immersion, Gus.
Let's go to the 144th dimension.
Let's go to the 144th dimension.
The sure cure.
I'm there.
Up and away.
Yeah.
Up and away. I'm on the 144th dimension.
Out and away.
This movie was given to you by HUM, the World Ministry of Immunics, which enables you to cure medically incurable diseases. We also produce the Cure Drive in the iCollege of Immunics. This is the home page. And as you see here, the movie that starts playing automatically when the page opens is a 3-hour tutorial film, which underneath it is the beginning of a series of movies. If you click on these links, you go to another movie that's a continuation of the tutorial, showing different aspects of the things that people need to get into when they cure things. The movie shows many people curing things. You'll find complete cure tutorials on the home page. Under the group at the top is another, this is a video and text tutorial, and if you click on the link, you'll see it has 10 lessons, and you can click on each lesson and you'll see that the lessons are movies interspersed with explanations. And if you continue scrolling down the home page, you'll find a huge bank of movies of people curing things. Here's one of someone curing multiple sclerosis that you can click on and these play. Hopefully this one will play in a moment. There it is. So that woman cured PPMS and MS. Here you'll find people from every continent: Europe, the US, Asia, Canada. This woman cured shingles, and in this particular movie that's what she's demonstrating. And at the top of the home page you will find links to the cure meetings that we have every week. 9 p.m. New York time, Rome time 8 p.m. Underneath the cure meetings you'll find a link to Friend Me. It's actually Byard. I'm Byard, speaking to you on Facebook, and you'll meet many people who are my Facebook friends there who have cured various diseases. Many of us have cured herpes, which is what I cured. Also there, if you have trouble getting signals, there is a whole bank of movies that focus on people who are just starting to get their first signals. Many of these people went on to bigger and better things, and you see them in other movies. But these are movies about their signals, how they got their first signals. At the very top of the home page, you will find above the masthead a link to the cure shows. And we documented people curing things on these are on the, we did this on the phone. There are shows on about 75 diseases, and the diseases are listed alphabetically, as you can see. You actually hear the people curing these diseases during these shows. That's post-traumatic stress syndrome from 9/11, the catastrophe. We have a show on that, and fever, somebody curing the fever, several people curing fibromyalgia, flu. We had a flu hotline, and there are many people. These people are actually curing flu, and the flu stops. It clears up during the 15 or 20 minutes of the call. It doesn't take long to cure the flu. Over here you have paralysis, parasitic parenting, Parkinson's disease. When you cure something, please join your voice with the voices of the many people who came before you by reporting your cure in our poll, which you can do right above the tally of the cures that people have reported is here at the top. And as you can see, there's a little link here. And if you click on that, you will come to a form that enables you to report your cure. This page is the hub of the Web College. And as you can see, there are detailed lessons on how to remove viruses, cure cancer. Here's a movie on the right here of a doctor who actually years ago cured the flu on camera. You'll notice that skill 1 in the hierarchy of skills is cure physical diseases. That's actually the easiest thing with this particular approach. And I've put a great many things in the hierarchy of skills that relate to curing physical diseases, such as ending trauma, working on your organs. Now, if we go into the Recode Your DNA, there are 10 applications or 11 applications, and Recode Your DNA is one of them. If we go inside here, what we see is a page with a huge amount of links. And then if we look at the links on the right, after the ones on the left which prepare you, these are the actual lessons. And you can see some of them. It might be hard for some people to see why blind installation procedure is related to recoding your DNA. And this is why we've put it in this application, so that it relates it in your mind. This is the reason the Web College is organized the way it is to relate things for you in your mind. And obviously there are a huge number of things, like if you're curing cancer or herpes or any medically incurable disease, it's obvious that there are a great many things that you have to learn. And they're different for everybody. You do not have to learn everything that's listed here. And in fact, cure is instantaneous. And it's always unexpected how it will come. Like, watch these women. They're going to give you a perspective. This is a good way to conclude this little overview I'm giving you here. Say, can I go to the 144th dimension? See if you get a signal on that. Can I go to the 144th dimension?
Can I go to the 144th dimension? Yes? I guess I can.
Go ahead and do it.
Okay, both of you go to the 144th dimension.
I'm taking myself to the 144th dimension.
Me too.
No stopping for gas on the 8th dimension.
I feel clear.
I feel less interested in
anything below the 144th dimension.
Can we stay here all the time?
I know, exactly.
Well, I mean, this would take a lot of backstory, but there are some decisions that my family's making that I now feel clear about.
Yes, because when you have that perspective from the 144th dimension,
Yeah.
You simply don't care about anything as much.
That's exactly it. But I don't care doesn't sound so good.
Well, see, that's right.
But it's it. That's really
Not an effect.
When people hear we say we don't care, they go, "Well, God, that's sick," you know.
I know. It's a good thing.